Yeah, from our end. Exciting game. A lot of good football. Some really good goals. I thought for the second week in a row, our intensity and the way we competed, that those things were important. Portland is an athletic team and a physical team, and in the first half, there's some real strong battles, especially in the midfield. I thought in some of those moments we were still sharp enough that we could play through some of their pressure, and I thought the guys were focused on trying to play football and deal with the game in the right way. So I was very pleased with that part of it. There's always important plays in games. We remember at the end when we have control, but Walker made a big block on Ibobis at 2-1, so that was a really important play. Latif comes in, does a great job at right back. We've done it a little bit in preseason. We've played him in the midfield in preseason, we played him up front in preseason, and we played him at right back in preseason. So he has shown that his natural football instincts and his quickness and his stamina and his way of just giving you everything it can be put anywhere on the field. So it's fun to watch. And so for me, he comes in at right back. He's involved in a bunch of plays where he steps into the midfield, comes away with loose balls, slips some good passes, makes some good runs. So that was also something that we were excited about, because I think it was 45 minutes against Columbus in the one training match, but obviously that's the first time in a regular match. Yeah, a lot of good performances, guys in the back. Again, Walker, Eddie Segura, really strong. Another strong match from Jordan Harvey. Steve Betashore, some concussion symptoms, so we'll have to monitor that. Okay.
Well, pretty complete performance, 18 shots on goal, but you got a long way to go, obviously, in the season. How do you make sure that everyone stays focused and don't figure, after 2 games, they got this thing figured out?
You try every day, create a football environment where they see the things that we're doing well, but they continue to understand how it gets better. So I'll find enough examples in this game of little things that still need to be better. We've tried from the beginning to challenge players to come in every day with an open mind, to be challenged, to be pushed, to understand how they can become a better player, what kind of football we want to play, how that needs to be worked on every day. So the response has been great, and in those ways, obviously, you just keep going. We also know that in a long season, there's no such thing as just a smooth ride. You get tested in different ways, and so again, if you immediately start thinking towards next week, playing in Yankee Stadium against NYCFC, that's going to be a different kind of game and a very hard game. So we won't spend too much time. We'll look at the things that we think we did well. We'll look at a few things that still need to get better, and then we'll keep working and training every day.
No worries about overconfidence then?
No, usually we can control that. So, I'm a nightmare, so that's easy.
Well,
Yes.
a little bit more about Latif coming on and playing in that position. Like you said, we did see it during preseason, but I mean, instinctually, there were moments where you can tell he's getting more forward, than we might see other players in that position. Is there any other, and also he contributed heavily to the 3rd goal, really getting that move going, and he's quite a ways at the field at that point. Do you have to talk to Latif in a different way when he's coming onto that position? And are there conversations that have to happen to remind him of what those responsibilities are? Or is it pretty seamless whether you're going to throw him in on the wing?
We reminded him a little bit about Blanco and what that was all about. Said when he gets the ball, close him down like you do all the time. At a certain point when, I forget whether it was 3-1 or 4-1, Blanco stopped defending and he was just hanging up the field. And so then we just have to understand as a team that we can take advantage advantage of that, and sometimes Latif goes forward, and then Edward, or later in the game, Mark or Peter has to maybe control that, or a center back moves over. So those are things we work on all the time. I mean, Latif's going to play that position in his own way, and we'll work with him in terms of some positional details, but we don't try to fill his head with the textbook. You know, we don't use the textbook so much.
Well, just to confirm, so Pedro is on a concussion protocol, and then is
All I said is, from my knowledge, that he has had concussion symptoms. All right, I would wait for our medical staff then to talk about protocol and everything, so that's best coming from them.
okay. And then Mark Anthony, is he okay? He got some.
I'm told cramping.
Oh.
Coach,
Yes.
up until Mark's cramping issue, how did you feel about his performance on the field, both the goal and outside the goal, but specifically with the goal? You know, you mentioned it after the match, obviously, his rehab, 6.5 months, finally being able to get on the goal sheet. What did you feel for him? And can you also speak on Atuesta's performance defensively and offensively?
Yeah, I think our midfield played well, so in order to say that against a good team like Portland, then that means the guys that played it there did a good job. You know, Mark has a good feel for the game. He steps up, he reads situations, his way of receiving when people are around him and knowing where the next pass should go. Edward played really well, as I noted, after the Sporting Kansas City game. And, you know, again, I thought tonight, really good. You know, maybe he doesn't need to take that yellow. Right? Maybe he can just try to run and get across the guy in a way that forces him to go sideways and not reach from behind and grab. I thought he did a pretty good job afterwards of being smart while playing with the yellow, so that's important. And then, look, Lee, as the other guy in the midfield, deserves a mention as well. So, you know, I think the midfield play was good.
Hey, Brad. Dio has made a significant difference coming in as a substitute in the last few games. Do you consider him to become the starting lineup for the next game or any upcoming games?
Sure, consider it every day. You know, there's a board, and every day we talk about who's playing well, who's good in training. You know, we spend a lot of time looking back on training every day and seeing little things that we can use to help guys have pictures of where they can improve. And there's real competition. I mean, not just there. That's the one that obviously is on everybody's minds, because it's you know, in that position when you have two guys. But I get asked as I go through the week about how Fito's coming around, still making progress, still scores even when he's not 100%. Fito still scores a bunch of goals in training. Carlos can play as a 9. Diego would love to play as a 9 more. Latif, you know, right back, sometimes in the midfield, wide, but he loves playing as a 9. So, you know, if you go through a normal week, certain guys get moved around when I make teams. You know, sometimes you'll play the end of training and you'll play 3 times 6 minutes of a certain kind of game, and every 6 minutes I make small changes. So, yeah, I mean, that means that as a staff we look at it and we discuss it. The tough part for the players is just the fact that sometimes decisions don't go your way, but that happens in good teams. And so far this year, they have the leadership of the team, the way they handle things, the way they talk to each other, the way they encourage each other. That part has been really good. Now, it's early, but you can't keep everybody happy every day. It's impossible, right? And especially when guys are getting better, they want to be rewarded. And so we understand that, but we also believe that it's important that everybody comes in every day with a good mentality to get better and a good mentality for the group. So that's kind of how we work through every week.
Hi, Coach. You guys dominated in time of possession, number of passes, accuracy, and stuff like that. But what stats, when you review the games, analytically speaking, do you consider the crucial, or do you really look at as far
I'm
as?
gonna give you all my secrets, huh?
Maybe.
No, I'm not. Look, you watch football. You try to create, when you have the ball, you try to move it quickly. You try to move the other team. You look, like if you played a bunch of passes and you never played the right pass forward, if you don't create advantages and get the timing of moves, then who cares about passes? When you lose the ball, do you have people around the ball? And so if you have people right around the ball, do you try to go after it and win it? If you're not around the ball, then it's not the right time to press. So you break down situations, then you use some data that can be gathered to fit the situations in the way we want to play. And so, you know, we try to balance out those things. So that's the kind of discussion and the kind of work that goes on. And every game, there's good things to look at, and then you balance what you see with some numbers.
Bob, can you talk a little bit about Carlos Vela's performance tonight and basically his role as a captain right now after these first two games?
Carlos is really came into the season really motivated. I think you can see that his commitment to the team in every situation, chasing back, finding the right moments to come underneath and get the ball, making hard runs. Obviously, I was happy to see him get a goal. I think he had 3 assists tonight, so 2. Sorry, but you know, look, Carlos is a fantastic player, and from the beginning, he's a guy that he's so positive when he shows up and he's good with his teammates, and you know, if you know, every club has its idea on how it wants to play, and then you try to create training to take you in that direction, and you want guys to still enjoy and appreciate training. So I think that when your best players come in and know on certain days what training is going to be about, and they set the example for everybody, then that's important, and Carlos has done it.
Good.